Hey everyone, and welcome to number 7 from the Creation Accelerator series. And today we are going to talk about planning for the future. So, how did I get to be so lucky to be hanging out with all of you guys all these days? It's been just amazing. I've really enjoyed myself. And so, planning for the future. What do you mean? Hi, Susanna. Good to have you live. I'd love to know what is your awareness about planning for the future? Like, what does planning for the future mean to you? I just love to know what all of you are thinking about when you hear about this planning for the future. Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to wait a little bit. So, uh, I have been reading Cryon books and listening to Cryon channels for many years. And in the past couple of years, I've been listening to and reading a lot. And so today, what I'm going to talk about is actually coming from the Cryon material. So, for all those who just joined, I asked you to let me know what does planning for the future mean to you. Just let me know in the comments below, just to get an idea of what planning for the future means to you. Okay, so like I said, the information that I'm going to present today, what I'm going to talk about, uh, is more about is more coming from the Cryon material. Hi Madhav, hi Priyanka. So let's see what people are saying. So Priyanka says it's a heavy thing to plan. Planning for me is being more organized. Madhav says comfort. And again, Priyanka says following strategies. Okay. So, I'd like you to just kind of think about what's going on in your life and see if what I say kind of makes sense to you, resonates with you. Okay. And so, especially in the energy of 2020, and I've been talking a lot about the energy of 2020. If you look at the energy of 2020 and what has been showing up in the energy of 2020, it's very different from what it has been before. Thanks for that, Krista. So instead of talking about that, I'm going to actually read from a book. Okay, and so this is the book. It's called The Journey Home, and it is a book coming from Cryon, Kryon. You can go on the Cryon website and you can actually find this book. So this is the story of Michael Thomas and the Seven Angels. So Michael has a near death experience, and or he dies, and then in his dream he goes on a journey where he meets these seven angels. Okay, now I have the adult book, and there is also an accompanied there's also a children's book, The Journey Home, and this children's edition was for ages 9 to 13, and I bought this because I wanted my kids to read this book. So yesterday, as I wanted to talk about this, I was searching for the books and I couldn't find the adult book first. And I found the children's book. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to read from the children's book. So I would like to read from this book, and bear with me, and, I will get to the point of it. Okay. So Michael Thomas, he is a boy, and he goes on a journey. So let's read. I'm just going to read 2 pages. Don't worry about it. So, chapter 4, the first house. The next morning dawned a bit dreary, but Mike's spirits were high. Sneaking out of the house was no sweat. He walked for a while and decided to buy himself a big breakfast with some of his chore money. He ate at a table outside the little fast food place. It felt weird to be out and about at this time of the day. Usually he was at school by now, bent over an assignment. Mike ate most of his breakfast, saving just a bit for later. He knew most of the roads around his neighborhood, but he realized that he had never gone very far from home by himself. Bag in hand, he stood and looked around. If only I had a map that could tell me exactly where I'm going, Mike said to himself as he started walking through the little neighborhood. He didn't know why, but he felt that he should just keep heading in the direction of the sun. At lunchtime, he sat down on a curb and ate what he had saved from breakfast. He wondered again if he was on the right path. If you're there, I need you now, Mike said aloud to the sky. Where does my journey start? A current map it shall be. Mike heard a familiar voice speaking in his ears. He stood up and looked around, but he saw no one. He knew it was the angel. What took you so long? Mike asked with a little laugh. He was thankful to hear from the angel again. You only asked for help a moment ago, answered the voice. But I've been walking for hours, Mike protested. What took you so long to ask us for help? The angel turned Michael's words around on him. You mean I only get help when I ask for it? Mike said, frowning. Yes, you are a free spirit, honored and powerful. You are able to make your own way if that is your choice. You have been making choices all along. We are always here, but we help only when you ask. Is that so odd? The angel made sense. It was so simple. Mike was irritated with himself because he hadn't asked for help sooner. Okay, where do I go? It's already afternoon and I've just been guessing all morning about which way to walk. Good guessing. The voice sounded like it was winking. The gate to the path is just ahead. You mean I was headed for it all along? Don't be so shocked that you went right to it. You are a part of God, Michael Thomas, of pure intent. Your guessing is really what is called intuition, and your intuition will serve you well with a little more practice. I'm here today only to help steer you. The voice paused. Look ahead, you are already at the gate. Mike stood in front of a long row of bushes that ran between two rows of houses. I don't see anything. Look again, Michael Thomas. Mike stared at the bush in front of him and slowly saw the outline of a gate through the leaves. It certainly blended in well. He looked towards the sky and then back at the bush. There was the gate. Right before his own, there was the gate. Mike saw it even more clearly than he had just seconds before. Right before his own eyes, it was changing. Now he couldn't help but see it. It was so obvious. What's happening? Mike asked, dropping the bag from his shoulders. When you begin to see things you could not see before, the gentle voice says, you cannot go back and unsee them. You will now see all gates clearly. Since you gave intent for this one, you chose to see it. Although Mike didn't understand what the angel meant, he was all too ready to get his journey rolling. This is a miracle, whispered Mike as he continued to watch the tall bush transform into a real gate opening up before him.